The real reason your shoulders aren't growing is not because of your genetics. After 2.5 years in the gym, I've seen the same issue again and again. Guys train hard, stay consistent, and still make zero progress on their delts. If that sounds familiar, this is the video you needed months ago. I'm going to break it down to 3 sections. Now we know the shoulders are made up of 3 heads: front, side, and rear. So let's talk about it. What are the best exercises? How do you have right form and technique? Let's begin with the front delts. You have probably heard people say you don't need to train it directly since it gets hit when you train chest, and in most cases that's true. But if you want to maximize growth and make your shoulders stand out, you will need some direct work. And my favorite exercise for this is the Smith machine shoulder press. And there's few reasons why. The first reason is the stability. You sit on a bench and the Smith machine is locked. It can only go up and down. In most cases, exercises with the most stability will maximize mechanical tension. I will talk about that later on. The second reason is because it's a lot easier to progressive overload. You can increase the weight a little week by week, which ensures that you're pushing as hard as possible. But let's say the Smith machine is taken. The next alternative is seated dumbbell press. It's harder to balance but still very effective. Now it can be annoying sometimes picking up the weights from the ground, but it's not the end of the world. And now let's move over to the most important muscle for aesthetics, the side delts. This is the muscle that makes you wide and enhance the V shape. A lot of people like to say just spam ladder raises, and yes, with that logic they will grow, but you still need to do it the right way. And my favorite exercise for the side delts is cable ladder raise. About 95% of my side delt gains has come just from this exercise. And there's a few reasons why this exercise is so beautiful. The first reason is the resistance profile is a lot more spread out than, for example, dumbbell ladder raises. With the dumbbells you feel almost zero resistance at the bottom and everything at the top. Me personally, I don't like that. The second reason is it's easier to get more range of motion with the cables instead of dumbbells. If you lean forward slightly, let your arm come across your body, you will get a better stretch. Now if the cables are full, the best next option is machine ladder raise. It's super stable, hard to cheat, great for progressive overload. Just know the range of motion is shorter, and depending on the machine brand, it can feel a bit awkward on the elbows from time to time. The last muscle group is the rear delts. This one is usually the most underdeveloped muscle. You get some stimulation when you train back, but it's not nearly enough. The rear delts are stubborn. You need an exercise where you can push hard and train it effectively. And my recommendation would be pec deck reverse fly. You have a lot of stability, easy to progressive overload, and great range of motion. But it's very common for the pec deck machine to be taken, so the next best option is reverse cable flies. Set the cables almost up to the top and aim for a 45-degree line of pull. The cables should be in line with your arms. Let your arms cross slightly at the top so you get a crazy range of motion. Bend your elbows a little bit. Now let's talk about training tips, and let's be honest, some of these exercises they're probably already in your program, but the reason why you blame it on your genetics is because your execution is wrong. If there's one thing I've seen over the years of working out, is that it's really easy to mess up your form when training shoulders. Ego lifting is one of your worst enemies. Most guys don't even realize that their form is weak. When your form breaks down, the tension goes to the other muscle groups. This is especially the case when it comes to your side delts and rear delts. If you want your shoulders to actually grow, you need to stop focusing on picking the heaviest possible weights and start focusing on mechanical tension. To simplify it, mechanical tension is when your muscle is fighting against resistance. The goal is to place that resistance exactly where you want growth and keep it there rep after rep. And in order to do that, you need to have the right execution. So let's go through every single exercise I mentioned earlier and how to execute them. Let's begin with my favorite front delt exercise, the Smith machine shoulder press. You want a slight arch in your back, just enough for stability. If you arch too much, your chest starts taking over the movement. Don't use momentum and bounce from the bottom. If you don't control the weights, you will decrease the amount of mechanical tension on the muscle. Lower the bar under control all the way to your chin or upper chest. That's full range of motion. Make sure you put the bench between 60 to 75 degrees. See which angle fits you the best, and this is how you grow your front delts. And now let's talk about the most important muscle for aesthetics, your side delts. This is how you do cable ladder raises. Put the cable anywhere from all the way down to above your knees. The higher the cable is, the harder it is at the stretch and the easier it is at the top. Lean slightly forward so your arm can get a good stretch. Bend your elbow a little bit. Doing this exercise with straight arm can feel uncomfortable for the shoulder. When you do a repetition, don't yank the weights up with your whole body. You're taking away the mechanical tension from the muscle. Also, when you do a repetition, on your way down, decelerate, and when you have come to the bottom, start to accelerate up. This is how you control the weights. I hate when I see people go full speed up and then full speed down with this exercise. And also, always keep in mind to not shrug your shoulders in when you do it, because that way you will activate your traps. For this exercise, I would recommend anywhere from 10 to 12 reps, because it's a lot harder for you to control the weights when you pick heavier weights. Lastly, let's talk about your rear delts. Let's go through how to have the right technique and form when it comes to the pec deck reverse fly. First, put the seat pad pretty high. Keep a slight bend in your arms. And to exclude the traps from the movement, you want to have as little scapular adduction as possible. The best way to prevent that is by avoiding picking weights that are too heavy. When you ego lift, your body will automatically start to use other muscle groups for support. This is especially the case for the pec deck reverse fly. Your shoulder blades will start to move in and out, and when that happens, your traps gets involved. For this exercise, I would recommend anywhere from 8 to 12 reps. This is how you get 3D shoulders and make your physique pop out. There's another thing you need to understand. The earlier you hit a muscle in your workout, the more stimulation you will create. Because at the beginning of your session, fatigue hasn't kicked in yet, so you will have the most strength, focus and energy. So if you want to maximize shoulder growth, you need to hit it when it's fresh. I have seen guys hit shoulders after they hit chest and triceps, but by that point, you're already tired, so you won't get quality reps, your intensity will be low. So yeah, you're training shoulders, but you're not going anywhere. And if you do that week after week, well, you will stay in the same spot. So what will you do? You will start to blame it on your genetics, when in reality, you're not even prioritizing your shoulders. But the solution is simple. If you want to maximize shoulder growth, you need to hit it early in your session. And here's how you do it. Put side delts within the first 1 to 2 exercises, not at the end. If your shoulders are really the weakest muscle group in your physique, change your whole workout split. Have a workout split where you can begin your session with hitting shoulders. That's what I've done, and if you want to dive deeper into this, in my last video I broke down on how to create your own workout split that is tailored to your needs. So click here and watch it now.